Alright, this is going to be my video on the current state of Taric and the items, basically where he's at, what's going to happen, and all that good stuff since I haven't done it for a while. Guide is mostly updated, right? Frozen Heart being really strong since they made it super cheap is kind of a core component of all of these builds, where if the enemy team has too much AD, you can pick up a Frozen Heart into Chains or Jack Show and basically punish that. If they are AP heavy, there's not many options that are good. Simply, Locket is good because you block damage, and that's about it. Or like a Wit's End kind of late, needs lucidity for the CDR because Wits doesn't have it. Into maybe like Trailblazer. Trailblazer, this item is like, it's not as good as I thought it was because it's just like, you're never going to be, your team is never following you. Taric is so slow. Because he's like Taric is almost never leading fights. Like maybe you could go Trailblazer with like a full backline team, but if you have any kind of frontline or assassins or anything that's just gonna get ahead of you, then this item is kind of pointless. Honestly, never need mana items because these are totally useless. Sunfire build has just disappeared entirely because of you need HP to make Sunfire useful, and Even Shroud doesn't exist anymore, so it's like, you can't really go this item. Like you can argue like lethal got nerfed, some other items got nerfed, so it's like, do you actually do anything else? Items, I don't know. So here's what's coming. 14.5. Some good things for Taric getting buffed. Jarvan, we like Jarvan, we want to face Jarvan. Rek'Sai actually counters Taric, impossible to deal with, so Rek'Sai being in the game is not that great. Wukong, Vex, whatever, we don't really care about that. Bell is getting nerfed, good. Brand is getting nerfed, whatever, fine. Evelyn, if she's taking over your games, that's fine. Nidalee is weirdly getting nerfed, I don't know why she's getting nerfed. Senna getting nerfed. Twisted Fate nerfs. Vayne nerfs. Vayne nerfs are good. I think that's probably the only nerf that actually like is good for us is this Vayne nerf. The buffs that are good for us are not much other than Sunfire, and Frozen Heart is getting nerfed in the ground, which is, I mean, it's not nerfed into the ground. It's 100 gold more and 5 armor less, and it's like, okay, well, do you really want to keep building this item? You compare it to an item like Frozen, like Iceborne Gauntlet. An Iceborne Gauntlet, unlike Frozen Heart, gives health. Because it gives health, and only costs 2,600 and also gives a Sheen hit. Might start looking to, instead of going Frozen Heart Rush in a lot of these situations, just going, Frozen, the good old Frozen Fist instead, to kind of make up for this nerf. Obviously, a lot of champions can use Frozen Heart. Taric can incredibly well use Iceborne, so Iceborne might come back. As far as the support items go, I've been using Slay a lot. I think with the Slay nerf, I might as well just go Bloodsong, or the Sheen one. And the other one is getting buffed, the Dreammaker one, right? Because that's the one that gives like a shield and or damage for your allies. So obviously Taric provides a lot of healing and shielding, and if the cooldown is decent, Dreammaker might be good. So that's honestly about it. Like there's, I'm not really finding a really good offensive build. Terminus only works on enemy champions. It's just, it doesn't give the stat line that we want. It's 3k for 40 AD and 30 attack speed, and that's just not enough raw stats. It's not like Wits that gives attack speed and MR and tenacity and like things. This is just not enough. Like you look at these two items and you just say Wits is better every time. Stride, it's okay. Like there's not really any good damage items right now. So that's really it. Like someone's requesting this video, but there's really just like, I haven't made this video because there's not really that much to talk about. Like Visage Vow combo still exists. Like you can go Enchanter. Like I've been trying Staff when you have AP teams. It's just not as good as old really is. It really isn't. And it's super situational because you need that AP on your team as well as resist already to even buy it in the first place because you can't clear with it. And people are like, oh man, hey, you need to go Tiamat or something because your clear is so slow. And it's like, well, the jungle pet has lots of resist scaling, so going a Frozen Heart or a Jack Show even first helps you because not only does your passive and E scale off of armor, but also the jungle item scales off of resist. So if you go a lot of resist, that true damage that's being dealt from the jungle item helps you clear a lot. And that's basically about it. I'm looking at the recurve bow, and the recurve pickup is like nice for wits, but it's really not that useful other than dragon, right? Like for whatever reason, the ratios on epic objectives versus the normal camps are different for the jungle pet. Like the jungle pet will do a ton of damage to normal camps, but it won't do very much of anything to the objective, which is fine. But this just means that like if you go wits, or an early recurve, you want to be doing a lot of dragons, right? And use that clear speed well. Honestly, maybe I could look to go back to the Death Stance Rush. It's just so expensive. It's just so expensive to pick up, and you don't have any AD ratios. Like if it was more armor, more haste, and less AD, like this would be an incredibly cracked item. But it is what it is. Frozen, if Frozen Heart's getting nerfed, the potential change to Randuin's always exists, right? Where you go Randuin's Rush instead. Obviously, a lot of health would be nice. That's it. Yeah, and Healy is just if you have the attack speed for it. So there's not really much that's going on, honestly, in the meta, where there's not really a good damage build. It's not like before where it used to go like Gale Force, Glacial, or like back when we went Stride. It's just, you just really want to build just tanky right now. Cleaver got buffed, but the buff that they did was not like super intensive. I'll just show it off really quick. They did try, please. Scuffed video continues to be scuffed. In this last patch, they buffed Cleaver, and I was super afraid because I'm like, oh man, Cleaver buffs, here we go again. But they did. Can I actually show it? Where is it? Okay, I guess I'm just gonna say it. They basically made it so that Cleaver cleaves faster. Oh wait, here it is. Yeah, basically the max carve is at 5 stacks, and now it's 5%. You go, oh no. But it's like, okay, that's 1% buff on how much armor they can remove. And it's like Taric in these fights, he always gets like, he's always fighting at this. Like them stacking one more time extra is not really that much. And it's like, I think this is stupid. I think the only thing that's actually kind of scary is that they made it so that Fervor is the same amount of movement speed for ranged and melee, which brings back things like Graves Cleaver and like Kindred Cleaver. So, like, the champions that still counter Taric just still counter Taric. Wait a second. On dealing physical damage that bypasses shield's invulnerability, all physical damage, even if mitigated? What? They can start charging up Cleaver during my ult? I didn't even know that. That's kind of cringe. But anyway, yeah. Taric's basically about the same right now. Not too much to say other than that. Cleaver will continue to be cringe, and as the season goes on, tanks will become weaker, right? Like Riot has this long running cycle of, at the beginning of the season, tanks are really strong. Oh, tanks are so broken, and then they nerf all the tank items, and then, or make them really broken on assassins and something, and then you get nonsense like Tank Akali, which is just better than every tank in the game, because it's like, just tanks, don't deal damage. Like, you can be a damage dealer and buy resist items. Like, you can play Vayne, and you can buy Frozen Heart, and you are tanky, but you deal damage, right? Tanks aren't the same, where it's not like a tank can suddenly pick up, Bloodthirster, and suddenly now you deal tons of damage, and now you're also tanky. No, that's not how it works. Tanks need the tank items, or else they are not tanky. And that's just kind of what we deal with in the game, so that is about it. Hope you got something good out of that. Taric's, in the bot lane, support, running Spellbook a lot. Grubs, Grubs are making it so that Spellbook Smite is pretty solid. Right, Spellbook, I've been running it a lot because you just want to help your jungler a lot of times. If you have some passive thing like an Ezreal, Smolder, whatever, you want to go Spellbook. At least in my opinion, go Spellbook, take Smite, follow your jungler around so that you're a half jungler, half funnel, half support. 1/3 of each. So, there it is. Yeah, that's about it. It's scuffed, but it works because there's really not much developing. So that's about it. See ya.